Power creep in Magic has gotten pretty crazy, and it's caused a lot of old classic EDH cards to fall out of favor, as more powerful options got printed. And also just more options in general, there's a lot of cards out there. Because of that, a lot of these old classics have dropped in price. So this month on Better Than a Booster, I will be recommending 10 old EDH cards that are now less than $5, which is what a Tarkir booster pack is going for. Will I be stretching the definition of classic cards here? Well, maybe. You'll have to watch the video to see. Also, if you want to buy any of the cards I talk about here, consider going to Cool Stuff Inc. If you use my code TTM, you will get a discount and it supports the channel. Thanks to Cool Stuff Inc. for sponsoring the channel. First, I want to start with an honorable mention, Mind's Eye. This card used to be everywhere. It was a colorless card draw engine. If you untapped with it, you would easily have a full hand for the rest of the game. But it's not on this month's list proper, because I actually talked about it in a previous Better Than a Booster episode. Which one? I guess you'll have to go through the playlist and find out. Onto the list proper. If you want to make tokens these days, you got a lot of options. But personally, I still love Elspeth Sun's Champion. She makes 3 lads a turn, which is pretty good. If you can activate her twice, you probably got your mana's worth of tokens. But if Elspeth just made tokens, the card would not be that amazing. This Elspeth also comes with a board wipe, and that Wrath also synergizes with token decks, since your small little token dudes are mostly left unharmed. And unlike something like the Wandering Emperor, which does a similar thing, this Planeswalker provides a much more serious clock. If you drop it on an empty board, your opponents need to find a way to get that Planeswalker gone before the emblem destroys them. This card has fallen to about $1, so it's a real easy pickup. Card draw is another thing that has gotten much better over the years, but I still love Future Sight. With that triple blue cost, you do need to be in a blue heavy deck to play the card, but the card advantage it provides is nuts. Not only does it let you cast spells off the top of your deck, but you can play lands as well. Plus, if you're in a Simic deck, gaining extra land drops will help you churn through your list even more. Additionally, fetch lands are really great with Future Sight, since you get to shuffle away something you might not want, or a land that you can't play. This card is slow, and unless you have a lot of mana, it's not really getting you card advantage immediately, but it's one of those things that when you untap with it, you feel like the game is really going your way. It just feels fun to play. Cast a land off the top, you spin another thing off the top, and you just keep going. This card's like 30 cents, so give it a try. Speaking of Simic value, Alchemist's Refuge is a $1 utility land that puts in work. This card is simple. It lets you flash stuff in. I think a lot of people usually use Emergence Zone for this type of effect, since it's only 1 colorless mana to activate. And in CEDH, the zone is most certainly better, since you usually want to flash in a win in response to your opponents attempting to win. But in casual EDH, I like Alchemist's Refuge a lot more. It's not that the zone is bad, but being able to play every turn at instant speed is crazy powerful in casual EDH. If your opponent wants to farewell away your board, you can just flash in your stuff afterwards and attack. If your opponent wants to attack you, they have to consider you might flash in a Death Touch blocker. Tons of Enter the Battlefield effects are way more potent at instant speed. Playing at instant speed just has so many benefits. I'll probably make a video all about that in the future. Subscribe if you want to see something like that. But for now, I'll just say Alchemist's Refuge is a really good card, and you should try it out. In Casual Commander, many times a board will get clogged, and casting a board wipe can feel rough, especially when you lose a lot of things as well. But sometimes you have to, right? Your opponent's board is stronger than yours and you're gonna lose, so you gotta cast the Wrath. This is where Decree of Pain comes in. I know 8 mana is a lot, but late game, this is one of the best board wipes to cast. Not only does it clear your board, but you get a full grip of cards to just redeploy and get ahead of the whole table. The later a game goes, the more powerful this card is. Also, it has that little cycling mode if you really need to cast a board wipe for less. This card costs less than a quarter, so it's pretty easy to pick up. Deadeye Navigator is a classic combo piece that lets you reuse Enter's effects. It can protect itself. This card does a lot. which is why I think it overshadowed Temur Sabertooth. But I think the Sabertooth is also a great card. It gained some popularity when paired with Dockside Extortionist as a combo piece, but now that Dockside is gone, it has fallen a little bit in popularity. There are still combos, of course, you can do with this card, but you can also use Temur Sabertooth to reuse Enter the Battlefield effects. Reuse your removal, your reanimation, whatever your heart desires. And the Sabertooth gives itself indestructible, which makes it really difficult to actually get rid of the Sabertooth. Against most board wipes, you can use the Sabertooth to save your most important creature, and the Tiger survives. I'm surprised I don't see this card too often, and with the most recent list printing, the cost has stayed below $1, making Sabertooth very affordable. The next 3 picks come from my Patron Discord server. Sometimes I ask my patrons for suggestions, and it makes it into videos like this. Click the link below if you want to see what else the Patreon has to offer. Clever Impersonator is one of the best clones out there. It doesn't let you copy legends like a few of the more new ones, but it does copy almost anything. This card scales with the power of the table like crazy. Being able to copy something like a One Ring or Necropotence is just so much value, and it's something most other clones just can't do. Clever Impersonator also lets you double up on other non-creature effects in your own list. Personally, I would love to have 2 Mind's Dilations in play, but I'm sure you can think of other fun things to copy. This is the most expensive card on the list at $3, but it's still pretty budget. Artifact removal is somewhat easy to come by these days, but repeatable artifact removal is still somewhat uncommon. And Viashino Heretic not only removes artifacts, but also burns your opponents. Look, I know it's slow because this needs to tap, and it doesn't start nuking artifacts until 1 turn after you play it, but there is upside to this being a creature. You can search it up with creature tutors, you can give it haste to let it remove artifacts faster. This card is kind of weird, and you'd probably want to play it in a list that cares a little bit about the burn, but seriously, try it out. The card plays a lot better than it reads. Also, it's like 40 cents. Removal has been power crept a ton over the years, but due to its unique effect, Oubliette remains a strong choice in my opinion. The reason the card is so good is because it phases a creature out. So unlike an Oblivion Ring, the card never changes zones, meaning if you throw someone's commander into the Oubliette, they don't get to put it back in the command zone. This card is specifically really good in Commander because of that, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. The card is just over $1 now, and for sure I would suggest picking one up. Thanks to my patrons for those 3 suggestions. Okay, 2 more cards for this month. First, Bloodghast. This card used to be really expensive, but after some reprints and new sacrifice fodder coming out to compete with it, the card has fallen in popularity and price. But make no mistake, Bloodghast is still the real deal. It's amazing fodder to sacrifice in EDH, and that's about the main use for it. The haste is less relevant in Commander because you don't care about attacking with a 2/1 that much, but it holds Skull Clamp so well, it goes in so many Aristocrats decks. The Aether Drift printing is less than $1, so snatch one up now. Last card I want to talk about this month is Oblivion Stone. Overall in Commander, the power of everything has gone up. There are more kill-on-sight creatures, enchantments, and artifacts than ever. And this is a colorless way to deal with all of that at once. I know it's 8 mana to do so, which is a lot of mana, but you do get to split it up over the course of 2 turns, 3 and 5, which makes it a little easier to play, but it's more than just a Wrath. If I was just talking about a colorless board wipe, I would recommend All Is Dust. O-Stone does more. You can play it and threaten the board wipe, which forces your opponents into this issue where they either sandbag their best threats, or play them and force you to pop it. But every turn that you don't pop the O-Stone, you could just put a fate counter on something you own. And then when you actually crack the stone, you get to keep your commander or whatever other important pieces you own. I find that this card overperforms because if my opponents sandbag and I just get to put fate counters on my own things, it becomes a one-sided board wipe. And if my opponents then are forced to play their strong things and have me actually activate the O-Stone, that's even better for me because they played their best things and then I blew them up. This card is like 10 cents and it's really useful in decks that struggle with removing artifacts or enchantments, so give it a try. Alright, that was it. Those were my budget picks for this month. What do you think? Are you going to try any of these out? Let me know in the comments below. Special thanks to my tier 3 patrons whose names you see here. If you want to be in the credits, check out the Patreon for more information.